Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum 38. DOK.fest München. Schön, dass Sie da sind und heute zugeschaltet haben, von wo auch immer Sie zuhören oder zuschauen. Mein Name ist Segin Michael und ich bin Teil des Filmauswahlsteams hier beim DOK.fest und ich freue mich, Ihnen heute dieses Filmgespräch präsentieren zu können. Hello and welcome also to all our international guests to the 38th DOK.fest Munich. I'm very happy to welcome you from wherever you're listening or watching. My name is Segin Michael and I'm happy to present to you this film talk today. We are going to talk about the film KOKOMO City by D. Smith. It's a US production and it is part of our Best of Fest program. And I'm very happy now to announce and present to you D. Smith. Hello, D. How are you?
Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
Where are you tuning in from right now? Where are you from?
The beautiful city of Miami, Florida.
Nice.
Yes.
Your film kind of premiered in Sundance and then it went on to Berlinale, a lot of other festivals, and now we're showing it here at DOK.fest Munich. Could you summarize for the people who have not watched your film yet, maybe a little bit what the film is about, and then we can start into the conversation?
Of course. Thank you so much for having me again. Kokomo City, really, there's so many levels and tentacles to the movie, but it basically down the middle is about four trans women that happens to do sex work, and they are basically, honestly and gracefully giving us their intimate, detailed experience as trans women dealing with the Black community, not just Black men, but as a general, the Black community, right? And I think that the transparency of the women really took the movie to the place where I was hoping it would go. And it's a very different take on the transgender story and narrative.
Your personal story is not part of the film, but it kind of got you into the topic. Can you tell us a little bit how you came to make a film about this topic and where your access was to it?
Sure. Basically, I've been a music producer for over 15 years. I've worked with everyone from Lil Wayne to Katy Perry, Carrie Hilson, Sierra. And once I started to transition, I lost a lot of my communication with the music industry. Like, people just didn't know how to work or respond or interact with me or, what have you. So that led me to kind of, lose everything and be broke and homeless, sleeping on couches for years. And Kokomo City came to me, because I thought, wow, with everything that I've accomplished, right? Everything that I've done in my life, to be dismissed and trivialized so quickly because I wanted to transition into the person that I always dreamed to be, I was ousted. So I'm thinking, what could a trans woman with no platform, no voice, none of the opportunities that I've had in my life that has to do sex work, what in the world could that be like? What could that experience really be like? I can't completely put myself in that situation, but how alone I felt, how desperate I felt, how sad and isolated I felt, I could only imagine what it's like for them.
As you said, you made the film kind of after you transitioned and you felt that you were also isolated from the industry that you worked a lot in before. And you can also see at the end of the film, you edited, you produced, you filmed everything kind of a lot of the film by yourself. How was that process for you? How challenging was it, or what were the great parts also about it, doing it this way?
Before I answer that, just to be clear, I'm not comparing my experiences to the women in the film. Like, they live a very, very dangerous, unstable, they have no benefits, right? So I'm not comparing my experience as an artist to what they have to go through, because it's not a game, it's not fun, and they have to do it. They don't have choices. So, but I was led to doing this film based on, my experience. Doing Kokomo City, the experience was very fulfilling for me. As a creator, you feel dead when you're not able to work, when you're not able to create, when you're not able to develop something. And I felt that space, that dead space in me. And when I started to do Kokomo City, it was just so exhilarating and exciting because I really didn't know what was to come. I knew what I wanted to happen, but I didn't know what was to come. And so when I met these women, I had an idea what I wanted, but even talking to them inspired me, and it encouraged me and challenged me to even go further and further with their experiences, and even talk about the Black experience. Like, I wanted this film to be black. Like, I didn't want anyone to interfere with how we talk, how we sit, what we say, what we smoke, how we look. I just wanted to be as raw and real as possible, But obviously, I'm also trying to represent myself as a filmmaker, not just a trans woman. It's like filmmaker first. I want to make something good to watch, right? Something, interesting. And then as a trans woman, I have to think and balance this as an artist and trans women. And right now, there's a lot of sensitivity around trans women narratives. And I understand that, but I also wanted to do the film to kind of break some of that dichotomy up. And not so serious. Like, we laugh, we talk, we like to eat, we like to drink and smoke and hang out. We love men. We like, this normalizes the transgender narrative, right? A lot. We're just breaking it down. There's no glam squad. There's no makeup. It's just the girls, their stories, and that was the inspiration in the film.
I think you can really feel what you're saying right now in the film. It's like I watched it alone, and then I rewatched it yesterday with an audience in the cinema, and it feels like you're just in a room with your best friends, and you're talking to your protagonist, the trans women in the film, and they're just telling you their story. And I think you created a very intimate atmosphere. Can you tell us a little bit about how you achieved that while filming?
Well, I really wanted to direct from a perspective of my personal experience when I talk to people. I don't want to say I have attention disorder, but I do tend to wonder with my eyes when people are talking. I could be totally tapped in and zoomed in into what you're saying, but I'm also very okay. I have an attention disorder, and I look around. I look at details. I look at a sock in a corner. I look at a bottle of water. I look at lipstick on the clothing. While people are talking, it sounds intrusive, but this is truly how I do when people are talking. Sometimes my mind goes, it never stops. So I use that to my benefit when I direct. And I think me kind of like doing like the lower shots, for example, it made me feel like I was curled up on the floor with a pillow listening to my friend. And I wanted to be lower in composition to kind of empower their presence and make them the center of, the shot.
As you said, the center of your films are your protagonists. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of how you found them and then how you chose the protagonists of your film? Yeah.
Sure. I went to, honestly, I found most of them on Instagram. I didn't go to their pages. I went to like some of the more popular trans girls, right? And I went through the comments, like finding like the real community and hearing what they're saying. And then I would go to their pages and just look and just basically just analyze their, energy and mannerisms and stuff like that. And I was inspired by that. I went through a lot of Instagram accounts. But then, some people say, no, I'm not interested. Then it would lead to someone else that they probably recommended and stuff like that. So like Daniela Carter, who's a brilliant wordsmith, she, had done 3 TED Talks. I had personally never heard of her. Mm-hmm. But how brilliant is she? Like, she's like literally a star. So someone connected me with her and Coco, the doll, rest in peace. My best friend casted her. He's brilliant. I didn't know her either. So I had some help, but my initial search was through Instagram.
That's really great that you found them this way. And as you said before, you wanted to make a black film. I think this film is a really great black film. It deals with the black community a lot, and but there's also a lot of difficult topics that the protagonist and the film is kind of talking about, especially also towards cis black women. But you made the film in a way that it's still fun and light and laughable. Why was it important to you to make it that way? To present the film not as only tragic or depressed, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, listen to what you're saying. Like, who wants tragedy? Who wants depression? I mean, not to trivialize the story of transgenderism, but me as a trans woman, I sometimes we need to step, not stop the fight, but sometimes take a break and step back to kind of repress that reset button, that human button, because sometimes we're like robots. We're fighting, we're defensive, we're protecting, we're afraid. Like, you know, where's the human in that? Where's the human experience in separating from our community? There are so many organizations, you know, that I'm not going to get into, that are designed to separate us. We don't look at it that way because it feels glamorous, or it feels, you know, projective, like in a very like glamorous way. But it was very important for me to talk to my people. And I love that everyone is receptive to it, but this was designed for Black people because we need to talk. Like, Black people need to talk all over the world. It's not just America. And this story is not a transgender story, it's a Black story. So it was very important that I capture a fresher side of trans women so that this doesn't come across as condescending or a sad story. You know, sometimes in film, you see the word transgender, it's like, oh God, here we go again. What else could it possibly be? No one's gonna expect a joyful, you know, happy, down-to-earth, human kind of film from trans women these days. And I thought, how refreshing would that be? Trans women are very happy, you know, people, very spiritual, we bring a lot to the table, a lot of energy. And I was just pleased to capture that in all of these women.
And I think a big part of the, let's say, vibe of the film was also the music. I think the music selection was so important and, yeah, very interesting part. And since you're a musician yourself and part of the music industry, how important was it for you? And where did it come from, the section? Did you do it in the editing, or was the music part for you very important from the beginning on, kind of?
Up until now, music has been my complete, total life. I've put music in front of everyone. In front of myself, in front of my health, in front of my family. I've lost a lot of family time because of pursuing music. It is my life. I've been surrounded by it since I was a child. When the opportunity to do KOKOMO City came, I just found nothing but opportunity to express myself musically. I love music so much, but I also love the idea of manipulating emotions and manipulating effects in film by way of music. Someone may not use a song that I would use, you know, but that's the magic of creating. Everyone has their own intention and interpretations and inspiration. So music was such a great opportunity for me to not only prove myself as a musically intelligent person, but to fulfill myself, my need and desire as a creator to make that happen in that way.
You premiered your film at Sundance, as I said before, and it still has a lot of success all around the festival circus. But as I said also before, your film discusses a lot of topics that are specifically for the Black community. So how has the reception been from Black audiences? Did you have like maybe Black people only screenings? How did the film go on, kind of?
So far, it's been a really mixed crowd. In every screening that I've seen, and that were pictures that was sent to me online and in-person screenings, really great ratio. But what I'm most excited about is that the Black people that have seen it have been blown away in the best way, and the reception has been so relieving. You know, to have Black women come to me after a screening of watching KOKOMO City with these vibrant, beautiful trans women for an hour, and to walk away with a positive perspective. There's really nothing, money or an award could ever replace that moment. To have a Black woman know that I'm not trying to replace her, I'm not trying to compete with her, but the reality is, this is our community. This is the Black community. I am a part of the Black community, and it makes me feel seen. It makes me feel at home.
You also have a lot of Black trans women in your film, but you also have Black men in your film talking about different topics and also their desire for Black trans women and different other things. How important was it for you to have that aspect also in the film and them talking and being so open about their desires and their wishes?
I mean, how fun is that to see Black men talk about trans women in a positive way where they're not being shamed, where they're not being filmed running out of hotel rooms or denying something on a vlog or, you know, some type of article that shames them. How refreshing is it that you have full, adult, healthy Black men to give that type of respect and acknowledgement to Black women, trans women? How refreshing is that? We needed that. We need that. And these men were very excited to do this. And, you know, even the men in the car that were sticking up for trans women, we need that, because there's a lot more of that than the negative stuff. There's a lot more people that really like trans women than the ones that are killing trans women. There's a lot more support out there that we do have from the Black community. And I want to highlight that. I want to encourage that. And I want to prove that. Right? That's very important. It's important for us to take the narrative back. It's very important. Or maybe we've never even had the narrative. Trans women have been around trans people have been around a long time. But this experience, this trajectory is really new for our society. And as we're building our places in the society, I think it's very important that Black people say, these are our people as well. And we love them and we will protect them.
If we look at the current climate in the US regarding not only trans rights, but also Black people or just like human rights, actually, in a sense, what would you like people to take away from your film? What would you like people to go out of and be like, okay, this is what you made it for?
I would foremost want people to say, you know what? They were cool as hell. I don't want anything to happen to these women. I wish them the best. Not feeling forced or not feeling like they were preached to or talked down to. I want people to feel rejuvenated and inspired.
One of your protagonists in the film, Coco or Rashida, unfortunately passed away last month. Did you talk to the other protagonists in the film, and how maybe did it change also your perspective? Because now your film is also kind of a testament to her life and to her presence being here.
Yeah, that was a very, 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 very difficult time. We as a family, as friends, we were there for each other, and it was very beautiful in the sense of we honored her life. And I will tell you that her life will not be in vain. It's impossible. Like, it was, to be honest with you, regardless of the film or not, that was her destiny. That was life. That's what was gonna happen. And I was introduced to her randomly by my friend to film her, to prove to the world what a beautiful person she is, what a beautiful person she was, how beautiful trans women are, how vulnerable trans women are. And how do you prove that without the film? She would have been another trans woman murdered in Atlanta. but it was meant, divinely orchestrated for me to film her before she was taken from Earth. And I'm grateful that I was able to meet her and memorialize her legacy.
Thank you so much for that, obviously. What is the plan for Kokomo City after the festival run? Where can people watch your film if they missed it here or if they want to show it to friends afterwards?
I mean, right after the premiere, the night that it premiered in Sundance, it was bought by Magnolia Pictures. So it will be we have an official date. I couldn't say anything for months. It was driving me nuts. But July 28th, it will be in theaters, movie theaters. And obviously it will stream thereafter. But really excited. We have, oh my God, so many amazing things ahead that I'm super excited about. And I just wish I could just shout it out right now, but I have to wait.
So we'll just tell people to keep updated and check the film site out, and they will be out.
It will be in theaters soon, July 28th.
Well, thank you so much for this really, really great conversation, and thank you for showing your film also at DOK.fest Munich. I think it's such an important and gorgeous testament to trans women and to the Black community. It is also nominated for the Kino Audience Award presented by BR and Dreisat. So if you watched the film and you really loved it and you liked it, you can vote for it online. All the information about how the voting process and how you vote you can find on the DOK.fest Munich website. Other than that, thank you so much, Dee Smith, for being here and engaging in this conversation. And yeah, I wish you all a lot of fun with watching the film, and I think you will have a big pleasure.